Hello and welcome to WMCT Sports Wrap for January 2019. We bring the top highlights and interviews from Marlboro High, Aspen Valley, and AMSA into your living room. I'm your host, Matt Bisaccio, and today we start our tour through the city at Naven Arena, where the Marlboro boys hockey team took on the Chieftains of Neshoba High.
The 3-8-1 Panthers look to make it back-to-back wins as they took on Neshoba in a Quinn Conference matchup. We'll pick it up in the second with Marlboro up 1-0. Penalties were an issue in the period. Anthony Giansanti found himself in the box for indirect contact, and the Chieftains capitalized. Joe Fontaine finds Ben LaPlante on the weak side, and LaPlante rips the power play goal to knot the game at 1. Don't adjust your TV. That's Giansanti in the box again, this time for elbowing, and again Neshoba takes advantage. This time, Billy Johns has possession behind the net, and he finds Dan Lemensky, who snaps the wrister to make it 2-1. Marlboro had difficulty controlling the puck, and when they did get shots on net, they were turned away easily. But the Chieftains had no such issues. Here, a long rebound comes out to Charlie Flinkstrom, and he smashes the one-timer to give the away team a 2-goal advantage. With over just 2 minutes to go in the second, Lemansky takes aim on the break. It doesn't go, but Fontaine is there to clean it up, and Marlboro goes from being up 1 to down 3, headed into the final period. The Panthers, though, would fight back. Again, they were shorthanded, but this time right winger Matt Farrell has it on the break and fires it past the Neshoba goalie to draw them within 1. And later, with under 5 minutes to play, Farrell this time finds Kyle Carroll, who beats the goalie stick side to make it a 1-goal game. But that's all the Panthers would get. As they try to make something happen, but time runs out, and Marlboro drops to 3-9-1 on the year.
Since dropping that game against Neshoba, the Panthers have gone on to win their next 2 games against Westboro and Leominster. Despite that, though, they'll have to win out in order to finish the season with a winning record. Sticking with the Panthers, we'll head over to the field house, where first-year head coach Sean Mahoney sat down with us in our latest edition of Coach's Corner. You guys are fresh off of a victory last night, 51-32 against Fitchburg. You're 6-1 overall in the season, and you just learned that you're top 10 now in Central Mass, according to the media poll. How do you feel about that, and what do you think is the key to your success so far in the season?
Well, I feel good about it. We've played well. We continue to get better every game. The girls are great to work with. The reason why we're here, I think, is at 6-1 is the girls play great defense. Some nights we've shot well, some nights we haven't, but the consistent has been the defense. We're athletic, girls are intense, and they like playing defense. So that's always good in any sport.
Yeah, absolutely. Defense wins championships, right? Is this something that you saw coming with such a young team?
I think so. I think from last year they're just a year older, a year more mature, and they were in a lot of games last year, but they were just young and inexperienced. Now with a year of experience, they're better. We have a lot of girls who've won a lot of games in different sports. So whether it's soccer, field hockey, lacrosse, girls that have played at a high level in other sports, so it transfers to basketball, and right now it's working for us.
When we spoke a couple of years ago, it was during the football season. I was trying to get to know you as a coach a little bit, and you said that your approach to the game, at least from football, was that you like to be creative on offense and you like to be aggressive on defense. Is that something that you carry from football to basketball as a coach?
Definitely aggressive on defense, and I guess creative. I think a year ago, they ran a system, and we're running pretty much the same system, which is we have girls that can shoot the ball, so most of them have a green light. So I guess we're aggressive on offense too, because we don't pass up too many open three-point shots. So I guess being aggressive on both sides of the ball is what we are.
Speaking of aggressive, one of your senior captains, Nicole Galiak, she's a goaltender for the soccer team. I guess you have to be pretty tough in order to do that. Now that toughness comes across in the court too. Being here last night, she's always scrapping, diving for balls. Is that something that resonates with the rest of her teammates as far as being a leader on the court?
Absolutely. That's contagious. The way we play defense, they feed off of each other, and once you play like that, once you have a few players that play like that, the others rise to that level. And with her and Lucy and Kara Shanahan, they are aggressive. They're winners, so the younger girls see that and emulate them, and it works. So far, it's worked.
We'll see if it has a carryover effect going into next season. Nicole is one of only 3 seniors that you have on the team, so you're going to be returning the vast majority of the club. You must feel pretty confident going forward with the program.
Yes, I think the future's bright. We knew that from last year, that they were young and inexperienced, but there was a lot of young talent. So yes, I haven't thought that far ahead. I'm kind of just thinking to Shepherd Hill Friday night, but yes, the future is bright for girls basketball.
Now, you said your next game is against Shepherd Hill on Friday. After that, though, the next 4 opponents have a combined score, or a combined record, I should say, of 22-6, including Neshoba, who's 3rd in Central Mass right now. Now, do you allow yourself, or do you speak about upcoming games or what it's going to take to beat upcoming opponents, or is your focus strictly on the next game, the next opponent, whatever it is that's on your schedule?
It's one at a time. But after we broke last night, one of the girls mentioned how many more we needed for the districts. So that was the first I've heard about that all season. It's pretty much been one at a time. Let's just get better. Let's get better at this practice that we're having in 10 minutes, and tomorrow's practice, and then Friday night. So just go from there. We haven't set any number goals or anything like that. It's just, in the back of our minds, making the districts, having a chance is important, but I think the one at a time philosophy we'll continue with that philosophy, one at a time.
In Coach Mahoney's first year, his girls have had a fine season. They started out the year 8-1 before hitting that tough stretch in their schedule. Here's the highlights from their game earlier this month against Fitchburg.
The 5-1 Lady Panthers look to make it 4 wins in a row against 1-5 Fitchburg, who are coming off their first win of the year. It wasn't a shooting exhibition early on, but Marlboro's rebounding and defense led to fast break opportunities like this. Capadonna ahead of the pack lays it up for 2. Later, Kathleen Binkowitz takes it to the basket and gets the floater to fall. On the other end, it's her D that triggers another fast break, and sophomore Celine Al-Namari finishes to help give the home team a 12-point lead after 1. Lucy Capadonna leads the Lady Panthers in scoring, but she showed out on the defensive end. Here, on back-to-back possessions, she comes up with 2 of her game-high 6 steals, and those turnovers gave Marlboro more looks at the basket. Al-Namari finds Leanne Whittam on the wing, and she buries the triple. The freshman would lead the team in scoring with 15 points. Here, she shows off her arm, finding Capadonna on the break. Lucy gets the layup to go, and then it's Sierra Shanahan who pushes it ahead to Al-Namari. She hits the defender with the ball fake and freezes her. Marlboro gives up only 3 points in the quarter, goes into the break up 20, and wins by 19, 51-32. The Lady Panthers are now the 10th ranked team in Central Mass.
After their hot start, they've gone 2-2 over their last 4, losing to Neshoba and Groton Dunstable. But they survived the challenging part of their schedule, and now they look to position themselves for a playoff push. Now for the boys basketball team, a postseason run isn't in the cards. They've had a tough year to this point, and earlier this week, they were on the road in Westboro looking for their first win since opening night.
The Panthers look to get in the win column for the first time here in 2019. But in order to do that, they'd have to upset the 5th-ranked Rangers of Westboro on senior night. Marlboro kept it close for the first half of the first quarter. Junior Stevie DiGregorio hits the leaner off the glass. Mike Velotis a couple of minutes later finds Guerreri rolling to the basket for 2. And then DiGregorio drives into the lane and spins it in with the left. The big crowd on hand was there to cheer on their team, but they were also waiting for history. And on this possession, the wait was over. Senior Mike Doherty with this bomb from 26 feet out becomes just the 6th Ranger in school history and the first since Chris Banks in 2005 to score 1,000 career points. Coach Bowman tried to help navigate his club through the moment, but Westboro controlled the remainder of the quarter. Here, Matthias D'Souza picks up the technical for throwing an elbow, and later, DiGregorio loses the ball. It finds its way to Doherty, and he lays it up to help give the home team an 11-point lead after 1. Again in the second, the Panthers played competitively at the onset. Velotis rattles in the 3, and DiGregorio gets another leaner to fall. But Westboro is just too much for the Panthers to handle. Mike's brother, Matt Doherty, gets it and launches another shot from way downtown. Then, Matt shows off the passing by first finding Dominic Casparillo in the corner for the triple, and later he finds Jake Hughes underneath for 2. Westboro ends the second on a 16-0 run and goes on to rout Marlboro 75-34.
The struggle unfortunately continues for the Panthers, but hopefully they'll be able to finish the year strong and carry that momentum into next season. The news isn't all bad though for the basketball program. On the 19th, former standout Chris Doherty made his collegiate debut for the Fighting Irish in Notre Dame. He was originally supposed to redshirt this season, but due to injuries and transfers, Coach Bree was forced to use his young big man. In his debut against NC State, he played 7 minutes, grabbed 3 boards, blocked a shot, and recorded a steal. But his first basket came a week later against number 3 Virginia. He ended up with 4 points, 3 boards, and an assist. Hey, congratulations, Chris. We'll keep an eye on the hometown product and let you know how he fares. We're going to take a quick break, but coming up, we'll head over to AMSA to check in on the Eagles, and we also have our latest player profile. Stick around.
As we continue to swing for the fences, at Stand Up to Cancer, we know that any advancement can have a life-changing impact.
And here he lays down a beautiful butt. It's a safety squeeze, and safe!
And bring someone home. Stand up for the 16 million people living with cancer in the U.S. and Canada. Visit standuptocancer.org/MLB.
Gotta blow it up.
The Hero Effect is now available for online streaming.
We know if families can't afford to buy food, they're certainly not going to buy books.
If we wait till kids are in school, it's too late. If you're not reading at grade level in 3rd grade, you get to 4th and 5th, and then we start having school truancy and dropping out of school and leading down a completely different path.
I've always been drawn to learning. What we wanted for our kids, we want for all kids.
The Hero Effect, now streaming at heroeffect.com.
Welcome back to this January 2019 edition of Sports Wrap. Our next stop takes us to the Advanced Math and Science Academy, where both basketball programs are trending towards making a deep playoff run. First, let's take a look at the girls as they took on Bay Path.
After dropping 3 of their first 4 games of the season, the Lady Eagles have won 4 of 5 and look to stay hot against 10-1 Bay Path. The first half overall was a struggle for both teams. Senior Erin Gawaski banks in the 3, and later in the first, sophomore Diana Babinski gets the inbounds pass from Chelino and utilizes the glass as well. The contest would remain tied up until halftime, and then AMSA took command. They outscored Bay Path 15-2 in the 3rd. Here, Babinski gets it in the post, gets the defender to bite on the fake, and gets the bucket. And a few possessions later, Gawaski drives and dishes to Diana, who goes around the D this time and puts it in. All the Bay Path coach could do was watch, as his club had difficulty finding the range, and AMSA continued to capitalize. Anna Chelino gets it from Babinski for 3 and drains it. And later, Bay Path gets an open look, but it rims out, and AMSA turns it into 2 more. Allison Cash, channeling her inner TB12, rifles the pass down court to a wide-open Chelino. AMSA wins going away, 45-23.
Since the win over Bay Path, the Lady Eagles have finished off the month 3-2 and currently sit at 9-6 on the year. However, they'll have to win out and get some help from Monty Tech and Valley Tech to take the Colonial Large title. Now to the boys, who have won 5 of their last 6, and the lone loss was at Worcester Tech. In that stretch, they are crushing the competition. Let's take a look at one of those dominant performances as they squared off against Monty Tech.
The 7-3 Eagles, who've won 4 of 5, look to stay atop the Colonial Small as they took on 5-7 Monty Tech. Senior Zach Marquez was in the giving spirit early on. Here, he dishes it off to Bibu in the corner, and his fellow captain drills it. Mark would finish with 8 on the night. Later, Marquez found another Eagle captain, and this time it's Nico Chelino who buries the triple. And before the end of the quarter, Marquez does it himself, crosses the defender, and hits the 15-footer. All the opposing coach could do is watch as his club fell behind by 13 after 1. In the second quarter, AMSA put the game out of reach. First, Chelino takes it hard to the basket and finishes despite the contact. But the night belonged to Marquez. Chelino makes the steal, and Zach comes up with it and takes it the length of the floor for the layup. A few possessions later, he finds Drew Meyer running the floor. Drew chipped in with 9 points. And then, Meyer tips it out to Marquez, and he strokes another mid-range jumper. The Eagles led by 19 at the half and went on to win big, 65-35.
With 4 remaining games in the regular season, the Eagles are in great position to take the Colonial Small Crown and earn a favorable seed come playoff time. Next, We're going to go across town to Assabet Valley Regional Technical, where WMCT Sports' Brittany Baldessari caught up with senior Trinity Grenier. She's a three-sport athlete and the subject of our latest player profile.
Trinity Grenier is a three-sport athlete at Assabet Valley. She talks about how she got involved with basketball at an early age and what she likes to watch on TV.
My dad and mom did like street ball, so kind of just went with it. We watched the NBA, so like I like to watch LeBron James and Kyrie Irving and all those. We also watch softball sometimes, baseball, and then we also watch football.
Going to a vocational school like Assabet has allowed her to express her creativity in different ways.
Different like with academics and then having a shop, because I go from writing and doing math to going to metal fab because I create things with my hands. So I do welding, I do creative projects. My recent project, I created a U.S. Navy thing with my ship date on it, and I gave it to my mom for Christmas.
Neil Mansfield is the metal fabrication teacher at Assabet Valley. He spoke about the program and how Trinity is thriving as a well-rounded student.
It's a comprehensive program of both academic in the shop as well as hands-on learning. Trinity is brilliant. I mean, I use that word and emphasize she has the ability to analyze, problem solve, critically think, look through problems step by step, and figure them out. The trifecta here, she's an athlete, a brilliant athlete, I think. She's very talented. She is very skillful at her trade, and then she's going to be a patriot as a military U.S. Navy sailor.
Trinity has decided to enlist in the Navy after graduation, which is nothing new for her family. She also tells us where she hopes to be in the next 10 years.
Well, my uncle and my mom's mother's father was in the Navy. In the next 10 years, so after the Navy, I want to go to college. I want to go to Fitchburg State. I want to go into business and open my own sporting business.
Thanks, Britt, and thank you, Trinity, not only for taking the time with us, but for your commitment to our country. Good luck the rest of the year and beyond. Now, the last highlight of the show comes from Assabet Valley's boys basketball team. They're 12-1, 5-0 on the road. They're beating their opponents by 18 points per game and currently sit 8th in Central Mass. Here's their game from earlier this month against AMSA.
The 5-2 Eagles look to stay undefeated in league play against 7th-ranked Assabet Valley, who look to improve to 8-1. Zach Marquez came out shooting the ball well in the first. Here, he gets it from Cholino and knocks down the 19-footer. A couple of possessions later, he pulls up from way behind the line. Bang! Then he uses the screen, comes around, and drills another mid-range jumper. He scored 9 in the first, helping to give AMSA the early lead. The Aztecs would settle down and counter. McManus on the break zips the one-handed pass to Hunter, who finishes strong. And after coming up with the loose ball, Jerry this time lobs it up to Hunter. The big man had 7 first-quarter points. Here's the last play of the first quarter. 3.7 seconds left on the clock. Dossis gets it, shoots the running one-footer, gets it to go, and Assabet would take a 3-point lead after 1. In the second quarter, the Aztecs would build on their lead. McManus scored 10 in the quarter, including this pull-up from deep. Later on D, he gets in the passing lane, intercepts the pass, and takes it to the cup for 2. And then he gets Austin Hunt in the air with a pump fake and nails another 3. AV would take a 38-31 lead into the break. The beginning of the third started out like the beginning of the game, only this time Nico Cholino had it going for the Eagles. First, he gets it on the break and gets the layup to go. Later, Marquez finds Cholino cross-court for the open 3. And Marquez again locates Nico, and again Nico delivers. He scored all 9 of his points in the third to help keep the Eagles close. But AV proved to be the deeper, better team on this night. McManus finds Selden, who dumps it off to Hunter baseline for the rim rocker. And later, it's Hudson who finds Hunter, and this time Jeff puts the exclamation point on the victory. The Aztecs improve to 8-1 and play Monty Tech on Tuesday.
Now, despite all the success, the Aztecs still have plenty of work to do. They're only 1 game ahead of Worcester Tech, and the 2 teams will meet in Worcester on February 8th. The Aztecs also have a big matchup coming up against 5th-ranked Westboro on Valentine's Day at 7 p.m. WMCT Sports will be there taping the game, so you'll be able to find that on the Video On Demand page in the coming weeks. Before we close out for the month, I figured I'd weigh in on some pro sports and try to do it in under a minute. Ready? In life, there are few things that are guaranteed. Death, taxes, and the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Well, maybe not, but they're headed back for the 3rd straight year and the 4th time in 5 years. Now, aside from the first trip back in 01, this is easily the most surprising run during the Brady-Belichick era. After the loss in Pittsburgh, they had dropped 2 in a row, they were the 3 seed, and nobody thought that this team was going to win a road playoff game. But Houston stumbled down the stretch, and the Pats took care of business and secured the 2 seed. They also got healthy at the perfect time. Sony now looks as good as he did all year, and Brady, after a mediocre regular season, has shown that he's still the best in the game, at least come playoff time. The biggest reason for the uptick, to me, it's the offensive line. They've opened up lanes for the running backs and kept Tom upright over the last 2 games. Now, I'm not sure if they'll be able to keep that up against the stacked D-line from the Rams that features Sue and Donald, but if New England's going to win this game, they can't allow those 2 to make an impact. If they do, this could look a lot like '96 when Reggie White destroyed Max Lane all game long. I'm predicting a close one. Pats win 28-24. Made it. Nice. Thanks for watching this month's Sports Wrap. To stay up to date on all the local high school sports here in Marlboro, follow our team on Twitter at WMCT Sports. And you can also follow me at mbasaccio WMCT. For WMCT Sports, I'm Matt Basaccio, and we'll see you next month.